but we're going to go into modules. All right, we're going to go into modules. Just an overview of some of these items. First off, we have an instructor module at the top. All right, this says do not publish, and we know it's not published by these icons over here on the right. This little circle with the line through it means this is not published. I call this the NOPE icon, N-O-P-E. Can students see this? Nope, they cannot. Okay, this module is not published. This is just for you, right? It's about the template, about Canvas. Then as we scroll down, look, there's some instructor support information. Then we get down into the meat for the students. Welcome, begin here. There's some course information. Then there's some help and support for the students, right? Some modules specifically for students, for the course, for Canvas itself. And then we get into this module, right? We get into a module that has week 1. Okay, week 1 title or theme here. Weekly overview is a text header. Okay, weekly overview is what we call a text header. It's how we can begin to organize our content. Then we have content underneath. These are pages. Okay, then we have weekly activities and some assignments, a discussion, a quiz, weekly review with another page with a wrap up. I love this module because it follows some best practices. All right. It has bookends, right? An overview to start off with and a wrap up to end, okay? And it's organized well, right? This is a great structure. We can utilize this structure moving forward, but I think it's beneficial for us today to learn how to create modules from scratch, okay? We're gonna learn how to create modules from scratch, and then we're gonna learn how to make our lives easier. So we're gonna do the dirty work first, and then we're going to teach you how to make your life easier, okay? So let's just start off by making a module. We're going to scroll back up to the top of the page, and we're going to click on plus module. We have this nice maroon button that says plus module, and when we click it, we're going to give it a name. Now this could be a week module, this could be a unit module, a chapter module, okay? You organize this based upon how you teach, okay? I'm just going to call mine Module 1. I'll just call it Module 1, all right? We can do Module 1, and then we can do topic, right? Intro to Geology, right? Again, modules need to be organized how you teach and already are delivering your content. After I've given it a title, I'm going to say add module, and it puts it at the very bottom, right? This is at the very bottom. Now, to add content to our module, okay? In order to add content to our module, there's this plus button. See my NOPE icon on my module header? We have the plus button right next to it, okay? We have the plus button right next to it. So I'm going to click this plus button. And notice we have different items we can add to our module. For example, an assignment. And any assignments we already add to our course, they're going to be loaded within here, all right? So as we add an assignment in a little bit, we can come back to our module and we can add it. We have quizzes. Don't add a quiz yet, okay? We're going to wait to add a quiz. File, page, discussion, okay? Text header, URL, tool, all right? You have all of these options available to you. I'm going to start off with a text header, okay? I'm going to start off with a text header. I'm just going to call mine overview. Okay, I'm just going to call mine overview. This is what we're going to do at the very beginning. I'm going to say add item, okay? This is going to add my text header. Then I'm going to come back to the plus button. Now I'm going to add a page, okay? Again, notice I have all of the pages already in my course. But I'm going to say new page. And I'm going to say, oh, module 1 overview, right? Module 1 overview. This could be resources. This could be, right, an overview. This could be presentation, slides, right? However you're creating and already delivering your content to your students, organize your module that way. I'm going to click the plus button again, and I'm going to say another text header. And I'm going to say assignments. And I'm going to say add item, okay? And it's going to add this item. We're just creating a structure right now. Just a very simple one, very simple one. And I'm going to add an assignment. Add an assignment, okay? Again, I'm going to add a new assignment. Module 1 assignment, okay? Just keeping it simple for now. Add item. And maybe we'll wrap it up now, right? Maybe we'll wrap it up with a text header. And we will say wrap up. Okay, we'll say wrap up. And there we go. Now, something I want to point out is notice up here on top. Notice up here, we have a text header, and then our items are indented. Okay, these are just kind of kicked in. Text header, kicked in. Whereas my items are all in one long line. Well, I could have indented whenever I added, right? I could have indented. As you add an item, you do have an indentation option, but we can also indent after. So on my Module 1 overview, I'm going to come to the far right, and I'm going to click the More Options menu for Module 1 overview, and I'm going to say Increase Indent. I'm going to do the same thing for the assignment, Increase Indent. Now it just kind of organizes things a little bit. Now this assignment's clearly a part of this text header. This overview is clearly part of this text header. Okay, just organizes things a little bit. Just creates a little visual step. This translates over to mobile as well. And so we can begin to see things a little clearer. Now you can indent up to 3 levels. So if you wanted to have text headers under text headers that are indented, then with resources underneath subtext headers, right? You can begin to indent up to 3 levels. So just keep that in mind that you can indent and indent and indent. Whew, you can indent a lot. Now, begin to create your module. Okay, again, remember we're clicking the maroon plus module button in the upper right-hand corner of our page, up here at the very top, plus module. And then at the very bottom, after that module is created, and remember, we're creating this how we teach, how we're delivering our content. If we want to do week 1, if we want to do unit 1, chapter 1, right? Add your module. Then we're going to click this plus button on the module. At least add a text header and a page and an assignment. Okay, I would love for you to begin to organize this, add some additional items. Do not add a quiz. Okay, we're going to come back and customize this in a minute and really make this module 1. But go ahead and begin to organize this and add some content. Now, what I would do, okay, I would normally come in and I would really build this out. However, I want my structure to be. Okay, I'm not customizing module 1 for exactly what I'm going to give them yet, but I would build out this structure, something similar to what my week 1 is. Something I do want to point out is you have this beautiful template. As it loads, you have this beautiful template, right? Overview and to-do list that you can come in and edit, all right, after we do this next step. But you would want to utilize that, all right? You're going to want to utilize that. But I just think it's beneficial to learn how to do things from scratch. Speaking of doing things from scratch, let's make our lives easier, right? After we have this structure in place, right? We put in everything we need, or we're utilizing this one up top. We're going to click the More Options menu for the module, okay? Next to the plus button, the More Options menu for the module. And we're going to click on Duplicate. When we click on Duplicate, it says it's duplicating module, and it makes an exact copy of everything we've just done. That would include duplicating the content on the page, the content in the assignment, content in the discussion, right? So if this were a weekly journal, let's say, I would set up all the details of that journal that I expect for students, right? I would set up all of those details, and then I would have them, I would duplicate it, and then it would all be in one spot for them. Okay, so I would have all of that in one area, duplicate it, and then I only have to create it once and then edit it each week. Now, I need to change this module 1 copy. I want to show you something else also. So I'm going to click the more options menu. I'm going to say edit. And I'm going to call this one module 2. All right, update module. Now this is going to be module 2. I'm not going to change these titles because if I'm going to have to edit the content on that page as it is, I'm just going to change the title whenever I'm editing the page. But I want to show you this module, my week 1. Okay. Notice as I click the more options, I do not have the duplicate. And that's because there's the quiz. Okay, this is why I told you specifically to not add the quiz. And this is a great time to show you some verbiage. Notice over here on the far right, we have remove under the more options menu for an item in a module. This is removing it from the module. This is not deleting it from the course. So if I wanted to use this module, my week 1 module, as my structure, which I strongly suggest you do, remove this quiz, duplicate the module, then you can re-add the quiz with the plus button. Okay, let me tell you that again. If you want to use this week 1 module, okay, because again, if we duplicate this, we'll have week 1, right? This will be filled in for us and we can just edit the content, right? We're going to come to quiz. We're going to remove it. We're going to come up here to the more options menu. We're going to duplicate. Then we're going to come back to the plus button and re-add our quiz, okay? So that's how we can begin to utilize this week 1 module. Now that we have our module duplicated, we can now customize module 1. Okay, we can begin to add the individual content items for module 1, right? We can make it specific for that learning unit. I'm going to click the plus button again. Actually, I need to refresh my page. My internet goblins got hung up somewhere. I'm going to click the plus button. And now I could add a quiz if I wanted to, right? Because I'm done duplicating it, okay? But I'm going to add a file, right? Notice it shows me all of the files that are already uploaded into my course. But I also can upload a new file. Let me choose files. Come back over here. I've got a file over here. Here it is. All right. Just going to attach this file. Let me indent. Notice down here at the bottom, indentation. Okay, this is where we can go ahead and indent while we add. And click add item. I'm going to upload and attach it to my module. Now, whenever I click the more options menu for that item, I can click on edit and change this title because it's the file name right now. That doesn't mean a lot to the students. So I want to say module 1 wrap up evaluation checklist. Oops. Checklist. All right. And we'll say update. Right? Now that it means a little bit more for them. Okay. It means a little bit more. Notice though, as I add a file, as I add the file, it's already published. My module is not published, so students cannot see it in context of the module though. Okay, students cannot see it. I can add some other items, right? Let me see what else I can add. Oh, we could add more pages. We can add a discussion if we want to, and we're going to do that later. I can add a URL. If I add a URL, let's just say Google homepage, right? When I add a URL, I always say load in a new tab. Now, and that's just because of internet security certificates, all that kind of stuff. When it comes to trying to embed websites within websites, sometimes they don't work. And if we don't say load in a new tab, Canvas is going to try to display that website inside the module. And if it doesn't work, students get a little frowny face. We don't want that to happen. So if we say load in a new tab and we say add item, this is what it looks like for the students. Okay, we're going to click on it, and then we get this little button, right? That just says, hey, open this in a new window. I know that that's not perfect. I know that's not perfect, but in my mind, that is better than a little frowny face on a module page, right? Saying that we cannot open this. All right, let me also show you, you have external tools available to you, okay? In external tools, you have Google, okay? You have your Google Drive available. I'm going to show you my training course in my personal instance. Let me just show you what it's like after you've added a Google Drive item. So you'll click on Google Drive and it'll take you out to your drive, and here's some slides that I've added. So this is going to embed, right? It's going to authenticate me. It's going to show the slides in context of the module. Notice down here at the bottom, previous and next, this works for my module. Here, I have my arrows for the slides. So I can go through the slides in my module, right, without having to leave Canvas. This is great. Let's, hypothetically speaking, let's say I'm teaching 10 courses, okay, or 50 courses for that matter. Let's say I'm in 50 courses. If I link this slides presentation into all 50 courses I'm teaching, and then I find an error, right? I find an error. I'm going to go out to my Google Drive. I'm going to update that. And then it's going to be reflected in all 50 of my courses because it's using the Google Drive integration. So it's just linking out to it. Just make my life easier. Okay? So take a second. Click the plus button. Click the plus button, right? Look at some of the other items. Maybe add in a Google item. Add in a file. Okay? Maybe you want to build out module 1 a little bit more. Let's take just a couple of minutes to do that. All right? Give you just a couple of minutes. All right. Remember our nope icon. Can students see this? Nope. There is no green check mark. Right? I can click individual items, but my module still is not published. Number 1 support call, or one of our number 1 support calls. My students can't see their module, but the content's published. Well, it's because the module's not published. So let's click the publish button on our module, and now it's published all of the items. Watch what happens on module 2. I'll do it again, and it published the items. Now, maybe I just wanted to publish those items, right? I can easily do that by clicking the publish button, and if I unpublish it, it's not going to unpublish the items. It just unpublishes the module. So now students cannot see module 2, okay? I want them to be able to see it. Now I can override that, right? Maybe I don't want them to see the individual items within the module, right? You can control access that way, all right? So you can control some access with your publish buttons, all right? So that is modules, right? That's modules. We're going to move on to content creation here in a little bit. We started building in Canvas, all right? We started off with modules, right? This is where our students are going to be driving. It's a linear flow. It's just a way for them to access their content. We're going to take assignments and quizzes and discussions and pages out of our course navigation, and we're going to have them access that content in their modules. Let's start next with content creation. Okay, we have the rich content editor inside of Canvas. Okay, we have the rich content editor inside of Canvas. How can we begin to engage our students with content? All right, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to hop into my Module 1 overview page. All right, we know it's a page because of this little piece of paper, right? This little piece of paper inside my module. I'm going to hop into my module 1 overview. So pick a page inside your module that you created. Okay, pick a page. And notice there is no content. Remember, I'm suggesting that you utilize that template. Okay, I suggest you utilize that template and begin to edit it after we learn how to do these tools. Okay, but we're going to learn on a blank page today. We're just going to create some basic content. Just going to create some basic content and have some fun. I'm not going to create a real overview page. We're just going to learn the tools within our rich content editor. I'm going to click the edit button up here in the upper right hand corner. So we have our edit button. All right. I already have my title. If this were a module from a page from a module that I copied, I would want to change this title. Okay. I would want to change this title if this were a copy of a document. First thing I like to do personally, and this is just a personal thing, notice down here in the bottom right, I have these 8 dots. And as I hover over them, it's these 8 dots right here. I get a little upward and downward arrow. I can click and drag down, just get a little bit more real estate in order to begin to put in some information. I'm going to start off, I'm just going to say overview, hit enter twice, resources twice, guides, and teacher video. Okay. I'm going to start off with this button right here. Okay, this paragraph button. From 12 point all the way down to paragraph directionality, these features, right? These buttons and features right here, these are all pretty standard when it comes to any kind of rich content editor on the web or any kind of word processor. But I like to talk about this paragraph option, okay? Because as I select overview, if I select paragraph, notice I have my heading options. Now, module 1 overview, my title is a heading 1. Okay, that's going to be heading 1. But I can have a structure underneath that. Now, I can do heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, but think of your headings like an outline, because screen readers are going to be utilizing these. For anyone utilizing a screen reader. So you would not put a sub bullet above a bullet. You wouldn't skip bullets, right? So we wouldn't put a heading 4 above a heading 2. We wouldn't skip heading 3. So I'm going to do heading 2, resources. It's going to be heading 2, guides. We're going to make a heading 3 because it's going to be part of resources. Okay, guides is part of resources. And then, I need to select teacher video. Teacher video is going to be back to heading 2. All right, so this is how I'm going to structure my page. Now, overview, module 1. During module 1, you will complete the following. Here's my bulleted list, all right, with the dots with information. I can click the little down arrow. See, next to the bulleted list, we have the little down arrow, and I can have a true outline, right? Or I can have a numbered list. And I'm going to leave it there for now. Okay, I'm going to leave it just like that for now. Under guides, I'm going to say visit the Canvas community for all of the Canvas student guides. Okay, so take just a minute, put in some kind of structure to your page, put in a verbiage, right? I'm going to take Canvas community and make it into a link. So put in a sentence where you can have a link. Maybe it's visit the TAMU website, right? Or visit the TAMU LMS website where you put in LMS.TAMU.EDU, okay? Put in a sentence where you can put a link here in a minute. Just put in some verbiage really quick. Just put in some brief text. And then we're going to move on to all of these tools down through here. Okay, all of these tools. All right. So take just a second to do that. All right, after we have our verbiage in place, I want to put some links in. First thing I'm going to do, remember, I'm selecting Canvas Community. Okay, I'm selecting Canvas Community in order to make this a link. So I'm going to come up here to the chain. Notice I have the chain, and this is where I change links and modify my links, right? I'm going to click this drop down, and I'm going to say external links, because Canvas Community is a link outside of Canvas. It's external. I'm going to click on external links, and notice my text is already in here. My link is going to be community.canvaslms.com. Copy and paste your link, type it in, right? Put in your link and click done. Now, this, right, notice as I hover over it, it is underlined. It is underlined. Up here, I'm going to put some course links inside of my course. Come back up here to my chain. Now I'm going to say course links. This window opens up on the right-hand side. Pages, assignments, quizzes, announcements, discussions, modules. These are individual areas, right? Individual items within my course. Course navigation. This mimics these tools within my course navigation. So maybe if I want them to do a specific assignment, I can give them that link. So I'm going to click this little down arrow, and assignments, I can say module 1 assignment. Now this is going to be a link to module 1 assignment. I love course links in announcements. We're going to take a look at announcements here in just a little bit, but we have this rich content editor in announcements as well. So we can begin to be thinking about, putting an announcement on Monday, right? Remember, module 1 assignment is due this week, and giving them the link to the assignment, and then they can go ahead and just click on the assignment. They're not searching for it. They have it in one spot. We also can say, view your, I'll do a course link, course navigation, do announcements, right? Do a space, daily, right? Make sure they're viewing your announcements. Okay. We can put a link to the syllabus, put a link to a specific module, right? Course links, modules. Maybe I want them to go to the welcome and begin here or help and support. This is not a link to the modules page. This is a link to that specific module. So when they click on it, it'll scroll the page down to that specific module, okay? So again, especially in an announcement, we can begin to drive students to where they're needing to be in the course. So take just a minute on your page that you're creating, either provide an external link, okay, with the chain, an external link like I did to Canvas Community, or provide an internal course link, okay, an internal course link. Provide one of those two links inside your course. After we've put in a link, let's take a look at this next icon over, all right? This next icon over, this is where we can begin to provide images inside of our page or wherever we have the rich content editor, okay? Have a wonderful landscape here, some mountains, a sun or a moon, right? I'm just going to come here. Let me just do it under my guides. Now, I'm going to click on my images. Any course images or user images I may have, okay, I can go ahead and utilize those. So if I've uploaded it once, I can go ahead and continue to utilize it. What's great about the user images is we set our avatar at the beginning, and we'll be able to utilize that image after we've uploaded it. But I'm going to upload a new image, okay? We can upload from our computer. Okay, so if there's an image we've got, we can go ahead and upload it from our computer. We can utilize a URL. Okay, we can definitely utilize a URL. Now, I want to point out though that if you utilize a URL, you are at the mercy of the owner of that website because you are linking out to that and embedding it into your course. So if they were to take that image off of their website, you would no longer have access to it. Okay? So keep in mind, if you're doing a URL, you may lose access. But as we saw with our course card image, we have Unsplash as well. So maybe if I wanted to do, smiling panda, right? Smiling panda. Here's an image I love choosing. Just this black and white image of a panda. I will say black and white image of a panda eating bamboo. Okay? So that's going to be my alt text. This is what a screen reader is going to read in order for anyone utilizing a screen reader to provide a description. Now, I would need to provide context to the page, exactly what it is, all right? But for the sake of today, this is going to work for my alt text. If this was purely decorative, if it had no meaning whatsoever to this page other than decoration, I could say this was a decorative image and a screen reader would skip it. Then I'm going to say submit, and it's going to embed it, and it's going to embed it really big. Okay, it's going to embed it really, really large. I'm going to click on this, and notice I have resize handles. I am not clicking anything special on my keyboard. I'm just going to click and drag down with my trackpad, all right, or with my mouse. Just going to resize it to the appropriate size. That's all I'm going to do, right, to whatever size makes sense to me. Now, this next icon over is our record and upload media tool. Okay, I'm going to come underneath my teacher video. I love this. Okay, again, we have this rich content editor in announcements and in discussions. Okay, announcements and in discussions. So create that engagement, create that sense of community with your students. So on an announcement, post a video. On the introduce yourself to the class, right? Discussion post, you introduce yourself as well and use this tool, okay? We're looking for this play button, the play button with the music note, all right? We're going to click on it and we're going to say upload record media. When we do this, we have a couple of options. First off, we can upload a video that we may already have or an audio file. We can also embed. So if we have an external source, right, with an iframe web source, we don't need to know HTML, right? We can just go ahead and embed that code. But this was what I was hyping. We have the record option. If this is going to be your first time, you're going to get an option up here at the upper left-hand corner to allow access to your camera and microphone. All right. But we're going to say start recording, and this is going to count me down. And I'm going to turn it, I'm going to look at the camera. Hey students, it's Mr. Rogers. I am so glad to have you here, and I'm looking forward to the year with you. And then I'm going to click save, and it's going to process. Okay, it's going to process, and it's going to load there where I had my cursor. So why don't you all take just a couple of minutes, okay? Take just a couple of minutes. Either load an image, okay? Again, the landscape. Load an image into your course or record some media. Record a welcome message onto your page, okay? Choose one of those two options, and I'll give you just a few minutes to do that. This next icon over is the option to upload a file. Okay, put a document on your page. Let me show you what this looks like. Underneath resources here, underneath the resources, I'm going to put a document. I'm going to click on my little piece of paper up here at the very top in my little toolbar. And notice again, I've got course documents, I got user documents, but I'm going to click on upload document. I'm going to upload from my computer. I'm going to choose this checklist again. And I'm going to say submit. Okay. It's going to process. It's going to attach this to my page. Now, one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this document. I'm going to say link options. And notice my text up here at the top. All right, I'm going to change this. Okay, I'm going to change this so it's not the file extension. I'm going to say Canvas course evaluation checklist. All right, give it descriptive other than the file name. I'm going to say done. Now the text is going to be Canvas course evaluation checklist. All right, I'm going to show you what this looks like really quick, and then we're going to change something on it. I'm going to say save. Let me just show you. When a student comes to this page, they have the course evaluation checklist that they can click on and download, or they can click this arrow and say preview. Okay, when it previews it on the page. All right, it's going to preview it here in the page, and they can go ahead and take a look at it without downloading it, without printing it out, without having to do anything with it. Okay, they can just preview it on the page. Now, we can have this file automatically open the preview. I love having this preview automatically open on an assignment because we have this rich content editor on an assignment. So maybe we want this preview to automatically open on the assignment. Maybe this is, oh, I don't know, a reading, right? And we want them to read a prompt, right? Maybe it's a 5-page document that we want them to read. They don't necessarily need to download it. Okay, just read it in context of the page and then write a response. Okay, we can have this automatically open. I'm going to click on edit. I'm going to find that document, right? It's right here. I'm going to click on the link, Canvas course evaluation checklist. Click on the link, and I'm going to say link options. At the very bottom of my link options, I have automatically open an inline preview. I'm going to click this checkbox, and I'm going to say done. Okay. Now when I click save, and I come to this page, that document automatically opens for me and my students. Now I can minimize this, right? If I'm done with it or it's in my way, I can certainly minimize it, all right? But it will automatically open, all right? Now, I'm gonna click edit again. Let's take a look at our plugins. One plugin that I want to talk about specifically is our Google app plugin, all right, to get out to our Google Drive. I'm going to show you this in context of a page in my instance. I'm just going to go to my pages over here, and I'm going to start a new page, all right? Now, under mine, I have Google Apps, and notice what happens as we add a Google app. It connects to our Drive, where we can select some content. And when we select the content, I'm going to select that same plot terms I showed you earlier. We can either embed, and that's going to put the slides on the page, or we can link. Okay, we can link to the document or the slides or the sheet. All right, we can embed it on the page, or we can link to it, and then it'll take students out into Google. I'm going to click embed and show you what that's like. It's going to authenticate, and there we go. Again, we have access to the slides on the page. So maybe we want to put the slides that from the lecture in context of some verbiage. We can definitely do that. And as we click through it, right, they'll be able to view the slides on the page itself. All right. So that's how you can begin to utilize this little plugin tool and utilize your Google content. So take just a minute on your page, either add a file with the documents or utilize this plugin and add a document or a slide from your Google Drive. Now that we've added either a document or an item from our Google Drive, let's take a look. Just give me some space here at tables. This little window right here. See this window in our toolbar? This window is to create a table. Okay. When we click here, this top item that we hover over, this is where we start. As I come over, I'm just hovering. Okay, this is how we create the size of table we need. Just hovering, and then when I'm ready, I will click. All right, I'm just going to do a 3x3 table today. Now, when it comes to tables, we want to use tables for data, not design. Okay, remember that, data, not design. Also, we want to make sure a table is maybe 3 or 4 columns wide, and that's just because of our students who are mobile, right? On the mobile apps, we just want to make sure that we have all of the information on the screen. So 3 or 4 columns wide. Again, I'm just going to do a simple 3x3 column, right? Or 3x3 table. Now with it selected, right, when it first gets added, it is selected. I'm going to click this first icon, the table properties. There's a couple of items I like to change and one item I need to change. Okay, one item I need to change. Okay, first item I like to change is the width. I like to say 75 to 80%. This is just going to shrink it down a little bit to 75% of my screen. So no matter what size my screen is, it's just going to scale down to 75% of my screen. Alignment down here at the bottom, another item I like to change. I like to align to center. Okay, align to center. Just visually pleasing in my opinion. But now something I need to change is to show a caption. Okay, whenever I show a caption, it's going to give me a text area right above the table. For accessibility purposes, I need to make sure I have a caption on this to provide some information as to exactly what this table is, provide some meaning, provide some context. So I'm going to click save. Okay. Here's my caption, table 1.1 state data, right? I'm just going to put in some fake information, Texas, Wyoming, right? I don't know, California, right? Let's just put in some numbers, right? I'm just making up some data. Okay. Now, the next thing I need to do after I've added my data, let me point out that a screen reader is going to read left to right, top to bottom. So it's going to say Texas, Wyoming, California, 3632889, which doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything at all. We need to define this top row, okay, Texas, Wyoming, California, as a header. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to come back up to my table up here at the top, and I'm going to come down to row properties, and my row type is a header. Now, I would click save, okay? And whenever I click save, then it's going to read my table correctly. But we're going to run the accessibility checker here in a minute, and I want it to error out. I want you to see what happens whenever there's a problem. So I'm not going to click save, but let me show you one more time. Whenever we change this to a header row, it's going to say Texas 3.2, Wyoming 6.8, California 3.9. Okay? So if we want it to read it like that, again, I'm going to select my top row. I'm going to click on my table, row row properties, change my row type to a header, and click save. All right. But again, I want my accessibility checker to error out. Okay. Let's talk about something for my math friends. All right. Something for my math friends. We have an equation editor. Now, let me preface this by saying it's been a long time since I've done math, but we have basic operators, delimiters, operators, relationships, right? Different things in here in order for you to create an equation, right? And remember, we have this throughout Canvas, assignments, quizzes, etc. So you can go ahead and utilize this, but I'm just going to put in a basic equation, right? Just so we can have something. Say insert equation, and it puts it where my cursor was, but I can scale this up as large as I want to because this is an image. Okay, this is an image, so I can go ahead and scale this for my students. All right, when I'm done with my page, I'm going to come to the bottom, and notice at the very bottom I have this little person inside of a circle. This is my accessibility checker. Okay, this is my accessibility checker that I would like to run just to make sure things are okay. I believe I have one error on my page, but let's double check and find out. We're going to click it and we're going to get this menu on the side. First thing, right? And I'm right. I do have one issue. It tells me right here. Issue 1 out of how many? I don't have a header, right? My accessibility checker is going to find link problems. It's going to find problems in my tables, captions, headers, problems with colors, making sure there's correct contrast. My headings, right? If I went from heading 2 to heading 4, it's going to say, hey, got to fix your hierarchy, right? But I can fix this from here. I don't have to go back to my page. I can say this is a header row. Now, visually, it made it bold and centered. But now a screen reader is going to say Texas 3.2, Wyoming 6.8, California 3.9. When I'm done, I'm going to say apply. And I get balloons telling me there are no more issues detected. Now keep in mind, as you make changes to a page, maybe you need to modify something, maybe you're coming back to a page, maybe you're changing things around, you can continue to run this accessibility checker. This isn't a one and done. Okay, the accessibility checker isn't a one and done. As you make changes, continue to run the checker to make sure things are accessible. So I'll give you a couple of minutes here. Run that accessibility checker. Okay, run that accessibility checker and see if there are any issues on your page. After we've run our accessibility checker, because my page is published in my module, all I have is save. If my page were not published, I would have save and publish, okay? But because my page is published, I'm just going to click save. And now my students will be able to access all of this wonderful information, right? This beautiful page that I've created. Okay. All right, let's take a look again at our agenda. Building in Canvas is where we're at. We've done modules. We've done creating of content. Let's start on assignments, okay? Let's start on assignments. So to do that, we are going to, if I can find it, there it is. It's at the very bottom of my course navigation. Find assignments in your course navigation, okay? Find assignments in your course navigation. Mine happens to be at the bottom, but we're looking for assignments. One thing to point out, notice this has all of my graded content in it, okay? This has all of my graded content. I have a graded discussion already in here, okay? I've already got a graded discussion. My quiz is in here. Any graded content will be in your assignments index page. Our assignments link here is our assignments index page. Any graded content will be in here. All right. Now, this is because we can begin to organize our content into groups. We can weight our groups. Okay. We do all of this within our assignments index page. Now, to begin to organize this, maybe I don't need special projects. Okay. I can click the More Options menu on the far right, and I can say Delete, and I can take it out, or I can say Edit and rename it. I'll just say Delete, okay? Take it out. Maybe individual assignments, okay? Maybe I want to name this Lab Assignments. Click the More Options, say Edit, and I will say Lab Assignments, okay? Lab Assignments. Now this group will be called Lab Assignments. Right? I can also begin to drag information from group to group. Maybe individual assignment is supposed to be part of my overall assignments. Notice these dots right here. I can drag from group to group. Okay, so put your assignments where they need to be. We can also create groups up here at the very top. Let's click on the plus group button. Plus group. When we click on plus group, maybe we have exams. Okay. Maybe we have a group for final. Maybe we have a group for midterm, right? Organize this based upon your syllabus, based upon how you are grading, based upon the groups you are already putting your assignments into those buckets, right? Maybe you also want to organize these groups based upon your syllabus, right? In order on your syllabus. Let's click these dots next to this title. Let's just click and drag, right? Maybe I need assignments, exams, quizzes, right? Let's put quizzes up here, discussions, lab assignments, right? Maybe this is how it flows on my syllabus, and I just want it organized that way. Again, that's clicking the dots next to the group title itself. So begin to add some groups. Click the More Options, delete groups you don't need, edit groups, okay? Edit groups to edit the title. Move them around, move assignments from group to group if you need to, but go ahead and begin to organize this content. Organize this content based upon your syllabus, based upon what makes sense for your course. After we have our groups, right? After we have our groups, we want to weight our groups, right? We want to weight all of these. So we're going to come up here to the More Options menu. See this More Options menu right here? Plus Group, plus Assignment, More Options menu. We're going to click on Assignment Groups Weight. Okay, we're going to click on Assignment Groups Weight. We're going to click this checkbox that says Weight Final Grade based on assignment groups. Now this is going to be a running total down here at the bottom. So as I put my percentages in here, it's going to give me a total. All right, so maybe this is going to be worth 30. Actually, let's make it 25. 25% and 30. Let's make this one worth 10. Quizzes will be worth 15. Lab assignments will be worth 20. All right. So put in the weights based upon your syllabus, right? You want to weight how you're already telling your students you're weighting. All right. I'm going to click Save. Let me show you again where that was. More options up here in the upper right. Plus group, plus assignment, more options. Okay, more options. Assignment groups weight. Assignment groups weight. And you're going to click the checkbox that says weight final grade based on assignment groups. Weight the final grade. Then you're going to put in the percentages and you're going to click save. And once you click save, all of the percentages are going to start to show up on your groups. So I'll give you just a couple of minutes to begin to populate the percentages of your groups, right? Populate those weights. And then we'll talk about some rules and how maybe we want to drop assignments, right? We can have Canvas drop our assignments for us. So again, more options, assignment groups weight, weight final grades, put in the percentages, click save. All right, I promise you we would show you how to drop assignments, right? Maybe on my assignments group, okay? Pick one of your groups where you're dropping a grade. I'm going to click the more options menu on that group, and I'm going to say edit. Okay, I'm going to say edit for that group. And at the bottom, it tells me the number of scores to ignore. The number of scores to ignore or drop. We can drop a lowest score or a highest score. We can say drop the lowest 1 score, 2 score. We could put in 20 scores, right? Drop the lowest 1 score. I can also say never drop an assignment. Maybe I'm calculating my final and midterm in with my exams, right? Maybe all of my exams are worth 40%, but final and midterm is part of that exam calculation. But I never want to drop my final or midterm. I want to make sure those are calculated. I'm just going to click plus add an assignment. And then I'm going to select that information, right? Module 1 assignment. If I needed to add my final, add that one as well, okay? I'm just going to do module 1 assignment. Never drop this one, no matter what they get. Never drop that one. Then I'm going to click save, all right? Now it tells me what my rules are, all right? It tells me what my rules are. As I hover over it, right, I have my percentage of total, and then my rules: drop the lowest score and never drop module 1 assignment. Now, let me show you again where that was. We're going to click the more options menu for the group. Notice assignments all the way at the end. We have more options. We're going to click on edit. Then we have number of scores to ignore and assignments to never drop. So I'm just going to give you a minute in the event you would like to drop something or never drop something. We will definitely give you a second to do that. Okay, show you again, more options, edit, drop the lowest score, and never drop an assignment. All right, so that's setting up our assignment index page, starting to get things in order. Now, I do have this module assignment, right? This shell that I created whenever I created my module. Also, I have this individual assignment, right? Notice if I click on it, I click on my shell, it's a template, okay? Wonderful template that I can begin to customize and utilize. But maybe I just want to create something from scratch, right? Kind of like what we did with our modules. Just to begin from the very start, we're going to click this plus assignment button in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, plus assignment in the upper right-hand corner. When we click on the plus assignment button, first thing we need to do is give this a name. I'm just going to call this one, let's call it Geology Lab Assignment. Okay. When we come down, right, we might say instructions for this assignment. Please complete the following, right? And then I might say resources right? Use the Canvas community. And I might make that a link, give them some link to some resources, especially as they're starting out. Okay. Again, I'm going to make these headers. Okay. We want to make sure that we can utilize our headers. Now, this may look familiar. We have the same rich content editor. So if I want to embed a document in here, if I need to put images, if I need to put media in here, right? If I need to put a video, I can certainly do that. All right. I can certainly do that. But as I scroll down, this is where we have our settings. First off, points. I'm just going to make it simple. I'm going to do 100 points. Okay, maybe all my assignments are going to be worth 100 points. Then we have our assignment groups. This is what we just took time setting up. How am I organizing this? Well, this is a lab assignment. Let me put it in my lab assignments group. How am I displaying my grade, right? By default, it's points. So it'll show them you got an 80 out of 100. Okay, but I can change this to a percentage. Now, if this were out of 50, if this were a 50-point assignment and they got a 40 out of 50, it would show them that they got an 80%. We also have complete, incomplete. Did they do it? Check mark. Did they not do it? X. Letter grade and GPA scale. This depends upon some schemas. Okay, but we also have not graded. Notice when we have not graded, okay, not graded, we lose our settings, but we still want students to turn something in, right? We still want them to turn it in, but this is not graded. All right, we're not going to assess them. But even whenever I do have points, I can say, don't count it towards the final grade. I'm going to give you points on this. I'm going to award you a score, but I may not want to have this on the final grade. Now, submission type. We have 4 different submission types. No submission and on paper. Okay? No submission and on paper. I want to pause for a second and tell you that in the Canvas gradebook, you cannot go to the gradebook and just create a column. If we need to provide a grade to the student, okay, if we need to provide a grade to the student, provide some feedback to the student on something they've done in class, something they've turned in, we need to first create an assignment. Okay, first create an assignment. You have 2 options for that, a no submission assignment or an on paper submission assignment. Okay. The difference between these two, on paper, this is something tangible. This is a work of art. This is a blue book that they're turning in. This is a paper that they're turning in, right? It's something on paper. It's something tangible. No submission. Think performance-based. Think classroom discussion. Okay. This is something that they're not physically turning into you. Okay. External tool. You have Google Cloud assignment. All right. So if you want students to fill in something, you can select a Google Cloud. They'll get their own copy of that document or slide or sheet. They'll get their own copy to fill in and submit it back to you. But what we're going to talk about today is online, an online submission type. Okay, this is what this is the most common. This is where students submit on Canvas. And whenever we choose an online submission type, we have 4 different options. Text entry. This rich content editor we've been working in today, students get that rich content editor. Maybe they're reading a passage and you just want a real quick response. They can use the text entry. Website URL. Maybe this is a design class and they're creating a website. Business class and you want their LinkedIn profile. Maybe it's you need their portfolio from a design class, right? They will submit a URL in a text box to you. You get a screenshot of that website and a link out to view it. Media recordings. This is the same tool I've been showing you today. Okay, this is the exact same tool. where they can record themselves, audio or video. They can also upload audio or video. So if they're creating videos or creating audio, they can upload it, or they can create it in Canvas or in the student app, right? Foreign language assignments, speech assignments, okay? Think about how else we can use video. How else can we use audio? File uploads, this is the most common that we see though. Right? They've written a paper, okay? They've written a paper in Word on their laptop and you want them to upload it. Okay, this is what we see most often. Now we can restrict the upload file types. Okay, we can restrict the upload file types to a specific format if we would like to. All right. Now we have submission attempts where we can have we can restrict this, right? So under submission attempts, or by default we have an unlimited amount of attempts. Okay, we have an unlimited amount of attempts. But if we want to limit this, we're just going to click on unlimited and we're going to say limited, or we can have 1 attempts, 2 attempts, 20 attempts, 200 attempts, 2,000 attempts, right? However many attempts we want to give them. But I'm going to say unlimited on mine. Plagiarism review, you have turned it in built in for your plagiarism review. Okay. Group assignment, you can have group assignments. By default, 1 student submits on behalf of the entire group, and you grade it once and everyone gets that grade. But sometimes there's a participation aspect, right? You don't want 1 student doing the work for everybody. So if there's a participation aspect, after you align this to a group set, after you align it to a group set, there will be a checkbox where you say, hey, award points individually. I want to assess students individually. You want to be able to give them their individual grades. Peer reviews. If I assign peer reviews, notice I can do manually assigning peer reviews or automatically. And if I do automatically, I choose how many reviews, when to assign those reviews, and if they have anonymous peer reviews or not. Okay. Then we get to our assign everywhere, right? We choose our due date. Maybe this is going to be due on the 19th. And they can start on the 17th. And they have until the 21st. So this means starting next Monday, they will have a submit button. And they can start submitting to this assignment. It's going to be due on Wednesday. So they've got a couple days to come in. Right? They've got a couple days here in order to submit to this. But I'm going to give them 2 days in order to submit this late. Now, it's going to be marked late. They're going to know it's late. You're going to know it's late. It's red. It's bold. It stands out, says it's late. Okay? It is late. You can also set up your Canvas gradebook in order to automatically deduct a percentage of the assignment for late work. After this until date, after Friday at 11:59 p.m., it will be marked missing. They will not have a submit button anymore. Okay, no longer have a submit button. But then students, right, it'll be marked missing, and you can go ahead and have the gradebook give them a 0. I will also tell you for this late awarding of points and the or deduction of points and the missing awarding of 0, you can override that. So if someone has an excuse, you can override that. So keep that in mind. If you wanted to differentiate these due dates, if a student has been ill or has an excuse or needs an extension, you will just click plus add. You will then select the student in the assign to box and give them a different due date and availability window. Okay? So take a minute on your assignments page, right, where we were on that assignments index page. Click the plus assignment button in the upper right. Give it a title. Give it some instructions. And take a look at all of these settings. When we're done, we're going to click Save and Publish. Because we want our students to be able to see it, right? Save and Publish. Okay, let me show you again. Assignments index page. Plus assignment. in the upper right-hand corner. When you click on plus assignment, give it a name, give it some instructions, and take a look at these settings down through here. Then click save and publish. All right. And then it will take you to the page of the assignment where you have all of your instructions, how many points, what they're submitting, your due date and availability window all in one area. Okay. So go ahead and create an assignment. All right, after we've created our assignment, remember, we're not giving students access to this assignments index page. I need to add it to my module. So I'm going to come down to my module, right? This is my module I created. I'm going to click the plus button. Here is that geology lab assignment I just created. I'm going to indent this one level. I'm going to say add item. I'm going to click the dots and I'm going to move it up underneath my assignments. Now the students will be able to see this as part of their module. All right. Again, in your modules page, click the plus button, find the assignment. Okay, find the assignment. It's going to be under the group you put it in. Click it, indent it if you would like to, and click on add item. After it's added to the bottom, take the dots, right? Take the dots and move it to where you need to.